Hello everyone, welcome to a video. Today we're going to be reviewing my Artist Alley experiences. Just a preface, because I always have a disclaimer. But I've done Artist Alley for pretty much 1 full year. Now what that means is that I did a show in September of 2023 and then I did that same show in September 2024, which to me that's like 1 year of doing Artist Alleys. Although a lot of those months I didn't actually have anything, and then some months I had multiple things. So take my experience with a grain of salt. I also am not a print keychain drawing artist. I'm like a crochet quote unquote artist. So it's a little bit different. I just wanted to go through the different conventions that I attended and what my thoughts were looking back on everything. Just kind of yap a little bit because this is my specialty. So yeah, also I tried to sit properly, but I just can't. I'm gonna have to sit like this. It's just so comfortable. I think I'm gonna put the picture on the screen, but if I'm looking like beyond your soul, it's because I have the computer screen behind you and I'm pulling up pictures as my reference. And also one last thing is I'm not going to rank them all. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people, and by a lot of people, I know I really like videos where people rank all of their conventions, because then I'm like, ah, yes, I need to go to the 3 that they ranked at the top, because that means those are the best. But because it's my first year doing Artist Alley, a lot of my experiences were pretty skewed because I didn't fully know what I was doing. So I might not have had a good experience at one show just because I was like underprepared or something went wrong or whatever, but in actuality it's like actually a really good show. Or maybe I lucked out, like there was one show that was on Mother's Day weekend and I know that because of that show was really good for me and it was actually my best show. But for me it's because I sell flowers and it was Mother's Day weekend. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, let's get started. Alright, we're starting with my very first convention that I ever attended. I also have videos of pretty much all of these. I think I should have videos actually on all of these of me going to the convention, because I just like diary dash ing, like diary. Anyway, journaling my experiences through a vlog. But my very first convention was Edmonton Expo. I guess I could rate them. We need like a rating system, I guess, out of 10. I would rate this experience like an 8 out of 10. Actually, maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Honestly, the show wasn't that great, and a lot of people came up to me at that show that I had met for the first time, or artists or whatever, and they were saying like, oh, don't like take it to heart if you're not doing well. This is like the worst of this franchise of shows. It's like the fan expo series people, whatever. And I got a really last minute table, so I didn't have a lot of time to prep, but at that point I was doing this pretty much full time, so I still had like a decent amount of stock, so it worked out great. I rate it pretty highly because it was my first like multi-day convention show thing, so to me, having all of those hours of like income, well, it doesn't translate directly from income, it's just having multi-days worth of sales was very like impressive to me, because each day I made as much as I would have made at just like a small show, but instead of going to a whole bunch of small shows, for the first time I got to set up once and leave it for multiple days and then still make income every single day, which was crazy. Looking back on it, it was pretty kind of sad, but it was just my first time doing a multi-day show and I was very impressed, and I was just so happy that I got in and I got so much like content out of it that I was just like, I was chilling. The spot was also great. I had a great spot. And it was just so fun meeting everyone. That was September of last year. And then that was the point that I stopped being intimidated about conventions and I started applying for more shows and things. And it also kind of gave me the okay to do more last minute things or sign up for things that there are some applications that are like, oh, would you be okay if we told you 1 month in advance or 2 weeks in advance that you can come to the show in case people cancel? And I started to kind of test the boundaries a little bit after that. The next show I went to was Hcon in Halifax, and I had a really good time. I should also say at this point I didn't have any anime related like merch for Edmonton Expo or for this show. It wasn't until after Hcon that I started taking Artist Alley more seriously, and I was like, oh, maybe I should make some like video game flowers or anime flowers or something that's more like comic game related to make my products a little bit more appealing to the type of audience that attends these conventions, because I really like attending these conventions. It's also not super new to me. Like, I've been going to anime conventions since I was in like school. Like, I used to go to Animethon when I was in Edmonton every year. So, oh my god, Animethon. Let me in, I really want to go. But it's like where I really fell in love with being a weeb. I'm not that weeby now. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like anyway, move on. Hcon was pretty scary for me because it was a pretty far show. It's like on the other side of Canada. I'm like kind of west, not west, but like pretty west Canada, and then Hcon's like east, like seafood east. Like they're on the edge, you know what I mean? So it's pretty far to go. I had a great time still. Everyone was so nice, and like it wasn't really that intimidating because I had friends that were going as well. So I could kind of talk it through and talk with them about it. I was a little bit disappointed because like this one staff member came up to me a bunch of times and they were like, oh my gosh, I love your stuff, like we're so excited. And then they asked me like, oh, please apply for next year because we're really excited to have you. And then this year when I applied, they didn't take me. So I was like, what the heck? They told me to apply. But so yeah, I'm not going to Hcon this year, sorry guys. But I had a really good time. I ate a lot of, we actually brought back at the airport, they had a lobster in a like box and they put like frozen peas in it and you can bring home a live lobster through on the plane. It's crazy. um but yeah, numbers wise it was pretty good, but obviously this one was a lot more expensive. It was also a little bit last minute, so it cost a little bit more. And to be completely honest, I'm just always honest. But I was not good at handling my expenses for probably like the good first half or 3/4 of this year. I kind of had the mindset that running a business, like, oh, you know, your first year, you're just kind of like doing whatever, you're learning, it's going to be expensive, costs, whatever. So I was just like spending a lot more than I needed to, and I wasn't really thinking about my costs a lot. So that wasn't great. It led to a lot of changes to my display as well, small changes. Even like from the Edmonton Expo to the Hcon one, you can see a huge change in how I'm setting everything up. But also it was because that brown keychain display, I can't bring that on a plane because it doesn't fit in a carry-on or a luggage, and also it's really heavy. So a lot of changes were made, which means money was spent on display materials, and then when things didn't work out, I bought different things, etc., etc. But yeah, this was also the con that I brought those sprout clips. They're by des_dam, the pattern on YouTube. And that was before like Temu flowers was really a huge thing. So, but yeah, that's all from 2023. That's September. Oh, actually, I think I wrote October, but it was actually, Hcon was Halloween weekend, or like, it was like the middle of October, November, something like that. And then December, I didn't have anything. January, I didn't have anything. And then the end of February was my next convention. I had some small local shows and things like that in the middle, but I was mostly doing a lot of designing for all my like Genshin flowers. That's when I came up with like the Leeway series. I came out with the Silent Princess. So yeah, I had a lot of thinking and a lot of stocking up and like just preparing for the new year. And then at Hcon is actually where a friend told me to apply for Sukino Con. Sukino Con it was a pretty small convention. It's in Victoria, BC, so it's a Canadian show. And that was my first time flying alone in so long. I was so nervous and I was so scared the whole time. But I stayed at this lady's Airbnb, which was basically, she actually stopped running that Airbnb. Victoria's so small. All the hotels are really expensive. And the lady running the Airbnb, it was like this super old website on Google, and I filled in like the application on the form on the website, and then she called me and she was like, I don't actually run this Airbnb anymore, but there's like a room in my house if you want it. And I was like, okay. And I was so scared I was gonna get scammed. And looking back on it, it was probably gonna be way safer to just stay at a hotel, but I saved a lot on stay, and it was like a 15-minute walk to the university, which is where the convention was. it was like an upstairs and downstairs thing, and they had a lot of issues with like lighting, and the tables were like really close together and they're really close to the wall because the space was so small. We were basically in a hallway. Um, but the upstairs was really nice. But when I applied, I just picked the cheapest option, which was like the downstairs basement tables. If I applied again, I would fork out the extra like $50 or $100 and just go upstairs. But we had a lot of lighting issues, and at that point, I didn't have a big enough audience for people to be like, oh, I was looking for you and I couldn't find you or whatever. So I was really just looking to build a following, like just to meet people and show people what I make and what I have to offer, just based on people that were attending the show. So it wasn't so much of a worry for me that people weren't able to find me because I didn't have the people to find me yet, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, that show I saved pretty good money actually because I was too afraid to do anything. I literally on the first night I ordered like 5 burgers from Uber Eats from Wendy's, and then I just ate that the whole convention. But they were so nice. Like I think because it's such a small show, but they had like snacks for the vendors and water and everything, and it's like the best experience I've had with convention staff so far, I think. I don't know when the applications come out, but I definitely want to apply for this one for next year. What's next? And then, so that was February. I didn't have anything right before Valentine's Day, which was pretty sad. I think next year, let me see my calendar. There's just not a lot of shows that happen right before Valentine's Day. And I don't have anything that's like, I've found that's on Valentine's Day weekend unless it's like a local small show thing, which is kind of unfortunate because I think my stuff would do really well. I'm just thinking like for Mother's Day, I had Oda Fest, which was also a local anime convention. So that was really just like banger moment where everything stars matched the thing or whatever. But yeah, so that was my first show, Sukino Con, of the new year of 2024. And after that, I had Kawaii Con. This was in Vancouver, and it's also a smaller thing, I believe. That's what everyone told me when I applied for it, because I got some feedback from people saying that, oh, you know, if you have to fly in, it's probably not worth it. But my only expenses when I go to Vancouver are the ticket, because my parents live there and my brother lives there, and they are so down to like drive me everywhere because they're like half retired and they don't get to see me that often. So I did it anyway. Oh, I guess ticket and then the vendor fee. And this one was kind of hard for me. I think I was just placed next to the arcade and the stage, and it was super loud and I wasn't expecting that. It's another one where there's like 2 different areas just like Sukino Con, so that wasn't really a concern for me, but I just had never done a show where I'm like right next to some kind of event or like stage before. And because my product that I like the flowers, I talk a lot with customers to like kind of tell them like, oh, you can pick stuff up or like help them pick different combinations or bouquets or whatever. So it was quite difficult for me. And I think I remember like when they were doing the cosplay contest or I don't know, whatever stuff they were doing on the stage, I don't think I made any sales during that time. And there was also just a part of me that's like trying to prove to my parents that like, oh, I can like go to events and sell stuff and like I can support myself on this. And then that weekend wasn't that great for me, and I was staying with my parents, and I felt bad about it because I didn't make as much as I wanted to be able to be able to present an impressive number to my parents, which is like, I know that's what I shouldn't think of, but they're still very like, my parents still think that I'm gonna go back to radiation and like medicine eventually. So, but I also think no matter how much I make, they would not approve of what I do now just because it's not a conventional job and they don't think it's sustainable, which to be fair is very difficult to make this sustainable, but I'm doing my best and who knows. But anyway, that's a Chinese trauma parents thing. They just want the best for me. Okay, I get it. Okay, what's next? Next is, oh, this is not the right picture. Oh, here it is. Here's the right picture. Next was at the end of March, I had Kawaii Con, also called Kawaii Con, but it was in Hawaii. And this was my first US show. I get a lot of questions about how you do US shows as a Canadian. Go talk to your accountant. You need a sales permit and some stuff. So I'm not legally, to be honest, I don't even know half of like what happens. I literally go to my accountant. I'm just like, tell me what to do and like how much I need to spend and like if it's worth it for me. So Kawaii Con was the first time I did an American show, and I was pretty nervous about it because I feel like I'm gonna say that about all of them. I'm pretty nervous about all of the shows that I do because there was like at every single show there was some kind of like first time moment, or something about it was a first time thing. But for this one, I ended up shipping some of my stuff over, and a lot of people told me that that was like what they did, or that's a good way to do it. But I did it too late because I was like last minute prepping, and I shipped it like just, I can't remember how long in advance, but it was not long enough. So it ended up costing a lot more to make sure that everything got there in time. And there are cases that stuff just doesn't arrive in time, and it's very scary. I've seen, I think it was Little Corgo that went through that at Kawaii Con, and I felt so bad. I sent all my friends over there, but I was just like I wouldn't know what to do. My mental is not strong enough to deal with that. So yeah, but respect to her for going through that. Coffee break. Ugh. But yeah, you can see for my buckets, they're kind of different because I use the cheap ones from Target. It's just too much effort for me to bring my own, but this way I can just return them after. And my banner, I printed it and I reprinted it, and it was just like the proportions were so off. Like they totally messed it up. And it was just like I was already there. Like I literally opened it there and I was like, oh. And it looks kind of scary, but like it is what it is. Sometimes things happen and they refunded or reprinted. I can't remember, but it was fine in the end. This was also one of the first shows that I actually sold out at. But again, I only shipped one box of things because I had shipped it too late and I was too scared of dishing out more money to ship even more things that I had, because I was scared that it wasn't going to be successful and then I would have to ship that all back again and it would be really expensive again. So I basically shipped enough stock for me to break even and profit a little bit while having a pretty nice vacation in Hawaii. So I ended up selling out, I think it was like the end of the day or halfway through the day on Saturday, and then I was out. And it was crazy. Like I literally could not believe that happened, and I didn't know what to do. I just like walked around. I asked like my friends, like, do you guys need anything or snacks or whatever? Like I'll go get something, I guess. Like I don't know. I actually had like a couple stems left, but I didn't want to sit there with just like a whole bunch of empty buckets and like 5 stems of flower. So I ended up trading with like some of the girls behind me and stuff. But Hawaii was really fun. Hawaii, I think, even it set an unrealistic standard for me because everyone was like the people attending the convention were so nice. Like that's the nicest. Not to say that other people are mean, but like I just met so many. Everyone was so nice. Got so many goodies and snacks, and like it was just, I felt so spoiled in Hawaii. Plus I was so spoiled that the last day I just got to go to the beach and read my book and like eat like parfaits and stuff. So Hawaii, was great. Didn't make that much money, but it was great. Let's see. That was February, March, and then April I had Calgary Expo. Now, this was kind of like Edmonton Expo, where all the Fan Expo franchise shows, they let you rebook. So I basically, for all of them, especially because Calgary Expo is local, I'm from Calgary, I'm in Calgary right now, they're, what was I saying? You can rebook your position. So I was like trying really hard to get in. So what I did was I just like I emailed them and I was like, hey, if you have a last minute table, like I'll take it. I showed up to help my friend set up anyway, and I was like, if you have a last minute table, I'm here. And then it all worked out and I got a table and it was great. So my table position this was the first time that I got a position that I was like, oh man, my position in Artist Alley might affect my sales, because I was next to this giant pillar And like if you were coming from the aisle, the other side of the aisle, from the other side of the pillar, you wouldn't have been able to see me. Like that's how giant the pillar was. Plus all the tables were kind of pushed back and the pillar was like in front, you know? So, sorry, I have this stick. I was testing something. There's like just yarn at the end. I was testing this new kind of glue, but I didn't really like it, so anyway. But yeah, I also tried the pins for the first time, where if you spend over a certain amount of money, you get a free pin. It wasn't that great. The show was, it wasn't that memorable. It was memorable because I met Mona from Nonalon. That's like the first time there's a celebrity at a show that I really want to meet, if she counts as a celebrity. But yeah, that not much to say about Calgary Expo. It was a local show, so it was good. My only gripe about the fan expo shows is that the hours are so long. Oh yeah, my first time at Edmonton Expo, I was like, how do people do this? Like, I literally did that, and I was like, I don't know if I can do conventions because the hours are so long. But when it's a little bit less slow, the time passes a little bit faster. And then in May, I had Oda Fest. So I had my 2 local shows kind of back to back, which I don't know if that's good or not, but I had to make a lot of stock. But I already had a lot because from like, there were so many months where I like after Hcon, and then I got like really fired up about everything. I was like making so much, like all the new flowers, like the game stuff and anime stuff, and like designing new stuff, like literally in that time so much. I don't even know how I got so like pumped up about everything, but I made a lot of stuff. I was super ready. I could have been more ready, I guess, because at Oda Fest I sold out. That's the one, that was my best show of 2024. Oda Fest is a local 3-day anime convention in Calgary, Alberta. Again, that is where I'm from. That's where I am right now. I love it. Like the venue is huge and amazing, and one wall is literally just like windows, and it's not that huge actually. I think it's like a medium show. I don't really have a good gauge for that yet. I think some people would consider it a small to medium show, but anyway, it was just really good for me because like the stars aligned. It was Mother's Day weekend. It was like the con. It was local, so I could bring literally everything. I could restock stuff. I could like pick stuff up from home that I didn't have, so it was amazing. 10 out of 10. Excellent. No words, just good. We also had 8-foot tables, so I got to bring all my prints and stickers. Update, I think I literally sold 2 prints and like gave away a bunch of stickers, but it was fun. It was still, that was my best show. Expenses were like so minimal. We had like a bunch of people staying over because it was just more fun, and they need a place to stay, and we live here, so it was really fun. That was really fun. After that, I had a huge dry spell. May, and then nothing. June, July, May, I need my calendar. I can't remember times and dates. October, oh yeah, so May and June, or no, sorry, June and July, I didn't have anything. I did go to Anime Expo for fun and to help a friend. So there was that, but other than that, I was just like, I was out of everything after that also, because I sold out everything at Oda Fest, since it's local, and I just kept bringing more stuff from home. So I was just like, oh, okay, I could just bring more stuff. Some stuff, I made a couple more things, but I was trying to sleep a little so I could be alive at the table the next day. Oh wait, I forgot one. There was Anime Central in May as well. Was that in May? Oh yeah, okay. So I had shipped some stuff for Anime Central before Oda Fest. I confused myself for a second, because how did I sell out at Oda Fest and then have Anime Central after, and still have stuff? But it was because I had shipped it in advance to avoid a very expensive Hawaii incident. But Anime Central was really fun for me too. It was also scary because I was planning on initially going by myself, and at the last, literally like less than a week before, I realized that the tickets for some reason got really cheap. So I decided to bring Julia with me, and that made it significantly more tolerable. I asked her what she wanted to eat every day, and she wanted to eat Chipotle every day. So we ate Chipotle like almost every single day. We went to Target and shopped. Like, it was very fun. Had a good time. The artist alley there was like right next to the dealers, and I think that was one of the bigger ones that I have ever gone to. It's all I don't remember. I just remember it being massive, and I was very overwhelmed because I felt like I also had to be in charge of like Julia and like tell her what to do, but I didn't fully know what to do yet. So yeah, but that was a good show. So that's May, and then June, July I didn't do anything but restock, and then August was kind of the gauntlet of like shows. I had Otakuthon in Quebec, or in Montreal, Quebec, where Shirley helped me, and then Otakon, which was I was like, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the biggest show I've ever gone to ever. And then there was also Annie Revel and Fan Expo Canada. So there was a total of 4 things in August, which is pretty crazy. I was pretty dead by the end of August. I think I'm still recovering from August, and it's like October now. But Otakuthon, and then Otakon. Otakon, my display looked different because I forgot my tablecloth. And that's one thing. I picked a pretty, it's from Simon's, my tablecloth, and it's really cute. It's like kind of a teal green, and it has little daisies on it. And I bought like 4 of them because they were on sale, and I was like, oh, they're discontinuing this, but I really like it, so I need to buy all of them because after they discontinue it, they won't have it anymore. But that also means that I can't just show up somewhere else in the world and buy it if I forget it. So I got this one from Target. It's like brown. It's the only one they had that was reasonably priced and not like $40 that would fit the table for some reason. But I'm sure they had other ones that I just didn't find. I don't know. But Otakon was really fun. I never ended up walking through the entire artist alley. I didn't even go to the vendor side one time. It was just, there was just so much happening. I was also helping. I bought one of those really expensive spaces, and they were first come, first serve. So me and my friends were all like, all right, everybody try and get a table, and then, we can share it. And so that's what I did. And I got it because my typing speed is so fast when my nails are not super long. And then I think my record is 151 words per minute. So if you can beat that, let me know. But yeah, so we got the table, we shared it, and to be honest, my setup is extremely fast, and everything is like very easy. So I was helping them with a lot of stuff, also because they helped me save a lot of money because we traded expenses a little bit in return for giving them the opportunity. Because I was the only one that got the like unlimited expensive tables. I heard they're doing it differently next year to kind of curate the bigger spaces a little bit more. So we'll see what happens next year. But yeah, I was super pumped up for this show because people were telling me it's like such a big show. But I think after this experience, I learned that I actually like the smaller cons a little bit more. Things like Sukino Con and like Hcon were really fun and not as overwhelming, and I was able to like walk through and meet people, and it was really fun. Although I met a ton of people at Odon. But I think I just got lucky, and mostly people were walking up to past my table because it was one of the ones at the front, so a lot of people had to walk by to get to their own table or to whatever. So I was very grateful for that. I'm also still too shy to say hi to people. Sorry, I'm just an introvert. But yeah, Otakon. That was Otakon. What else? Annie Revel. Annie Revel was just chaotic. Annie Revel. Let me relabel this photo because I have it labeled wrong. Annie Revel was the one that we drove to in Vancouver, which is supposed to be like a 10-hour drive, and it turned into like a 15-hour drive because the roads were closed, there was traffic, KFC forgot to make our order. Like, you can watch the vlog. It was very chaotic. But and then the show was honestly pretty slow. But again, there were like 6 of us crammed into my brother's like studio apartment. So, or no, what does studio apartment mean? He has 2 bedroom, he has 2 bedroom because it was him and his roommate, and then we kicked them out. so that we could stay there, which was fine. He stayed with my parents. But yeah, we crammed a bunch of people in there. It was like me, Justin, Kevin, Claudia, Matt, I think. Anyway, it was fun because we went out to eat every day and we had Justin's truck so we could drive everywhere. So we saved on like having to Uber and stuff. And the show was slow, but I bought a bunch of stuff. What else? That's also one that you can rebook, but I was using my friend's space, so I don't have to make the weighty decision of whether or not I want to rebook. Lastly, in August, I had Fan Expo Toronto. That is actually, is that the biggest? I have no like gauge for size. I feel like once the show reaches a certain size, they are all the same bigness to me. Does that make sense? Like, if I look across the room and I can't see the end, I'm like, oh, that's very big. Like, beyond that, they're all big. Like, I'm not even good at yapping, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But this show, I was super, 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 super far from the entrance. I was like literally in the opposite corner of the entrance, and I think it did affect my sales a lot because I did not do well at this show. To be fair, there was also a crochet reseller literally like a row and a half in front of me, like close to the entrance. They had 2 tables and they had super cheap. They had like buy 2 get 1 free and then like something percent off, and like they had a whole bunch of flowers. I don't know how they got into Artist Alley. They were also telling people that they were me. Like people would ask them, hey, like, are you made with April? Because their friends would be like, hey, can you buy something for me? And then they would be like, yeah, we are. And then like they're not. So that was weird. I was fine for most of the show, but I learned about that near the end, and it was kind of a mood killer. So I did report them, but I don't know. We won't know till next year to see if anything happens about it. So yeah, that was kind of depressing. Toronto's a little bit more expensive too, so that kind of sucked. But it's okay because we went to Hey Noodles after, me and Frank, and it's like a noodle place in Chinatown, and they have free refillable noodles. So we each had like 3 bowls of noodles, and I'm sure that made up for it. And then after that, my last show of 2024 was in Rose City Comic Con. I don't have a picture, so here's a picture of me lying on the floor of Daniela's furnitureless apartment. Rose City was fun because I got to hang out with her. I think Rose City, I think I was just burnt out by the end of like all the other shows. It was in August or it was in September, so it was like I had like a week or 2 after Fan Expo before I had to go here, and I thought I would have recovered by then, but I had definitely not. The hours, I think, weren't like really obscurely long or anything, and it was a 3-day show, but I think I was just so burnt out. And then there was another crochet person that was like saying that they were affiliated with me for some reason at that show, which was, I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand what their goal is, if like with that. But anyway, I ate Danielle's chicken, so it was worth it. Also, apparently there's a lot of good food in Portland, and somehow we didn't eat any of it. So if I go back, I'm gonna have to get some of the good food and not Burgerville. Although Burgerville was really good. So anyway, yeah, there's that. And then, oh no, I guess the last one was then after the 1 year is Edmonton Expo again. Which I was so excited because it was my first time going back to a show. And I had all of my new stuff. I had all my game flowers. I had my tote bags. I had my flower puppies, but they were super, like, they were $15 off. I had my free pins with over something purchase. And then somehow I did worse than the first year where I didn't have anything anime or game related, which was pretty discouraging. Like, I think most people's goal if they go back to a show is like, oh, I want to do even better than I did the year before. And then I improved all these things, my display, like my table looks so much better. I have so much more stuff and it's like related to gaming and anime, and then somehow my numbers are worse than the year before. So that kind of sucks a lot. But yeah. I mean, it's the economy is bad right now, I guess. People keep saying it's an election year, like an American election year. I don't know how that affects us Canadians, but that's what everyone keeps saying. There was also a crochet reseller like in my row in the vendor side further down. So I think honestly that is what is affecting my numbers the most. Because as we got towards the end of the year, there were more and more of that in both vendors and Artist Alley. And obviously, if people are selling the same product as me, whether they're a reseller or not, more so if they are a reseller, it's going to affect my sales. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But it's okay. It's part of life. Like, I kind of have accepted it now. Obviously, if they're an Artist Alley, I'm going to report that because that's not okay. That's for people that make their own stuff, not for people that buy it online and then just sell it for whatever. But if it's in vendors, it is what it is. I kind of have to accept it. I mean, I kind of think of it like, oh, there's all these print artists in Artist Alley and everyone else sells prints, so you're competing with everybody else, right? So I have this product and someone in vendors is selling a similar product. You know, it's competition. It's going to exist no matter what. So yeah, that's Edmonton Expo. For the rest of the year, I have nothing in November. I will actually be going on a trip to Japan. This is the first time I'm announcing it. I wasn't planning to, but I guess I'm announcing it now. I've been pretty excited about it. I'm going with all the people you've seen in the vlogs, like literally everybody that I like who's going. Maybe I shouldn't say everyone. Maybe I'll be like kind of a surprise. I'm gonna vlog all of it because my accountant said that if I vlog it, I can expense it. So I'm gonna be vlogging a lot. They're gonna be like travel fun vlogs. I want to go to like a yarn store and buy some like Japanese crochet tools and maybe even knitting stuff and just go ham because the yen is dropping right now and that means everything's cheaper. So that is the goal. I don't know what you guys want to see. I'll have some crochet related videos maybe, but yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to be uploading my travel stuff because I need to expense it. Sorry for, you don't have to watch it. Please watch it. Please watch it though. But if you want to see anything there or there's like a certain store that I should go to, especially if it's like crochet yarn related, I have a couple saved on my Google Maps, but I'm really excited about that. We're going to Tokyo. We are going to Fukuoka. We are going... Actually, you know what? No more spoilers. You'll find out. Yeah, we've been planning it for a long time, so I'm very excited. And then we have Anime Weekend Atlanta in December. That'll be my last, like, Christmassy convention. Well, it's my last convention of the year. I don't know why I'm saying that it's Christmassy, but that's my last convention of 2024. Super excited. I'm going to be meeting Meligurumi, if you watch her. Super hyped for that. It's a 4-day show. I will be bringing Susie as my helper, which you saw in the Edmonton Expo vlog, and then I think something else. I don't remember. But yeah, that's going to be fun. And that's it for 2024. Overall, I think I definitely learned a lot about Artist Alley in this first year. My main thing that I think is my strongest, like, characteristic is I love to consume content. So throughout this entire year, I have consumed every single possible content about Artist Alley that I come across and can find. And I have tried to make content about it as well. And, like, I think the one thing I've learned is that if you want to do Artist Alley and if you want to get into shows or improve your portfolio or, you know, find out the best way to do anything to do with this is to consume all the content. I recommend like Molkana, Sundrop Studios, Drawn by Ivy, JYK Doodles. Like every time I'm thinking of applying to a show or something comes up or I find something, like even I don't know, literally any convention. I go on YouTube, I look up that convention, and I watch every single video that relates to that convention. Whether it's Artist Alley or not about Artist Alley, I go to the website and I read everything. I look up the guests, I look up the previous Artist Alley list, I go through like some of the people. I've looked up podcasts. I really love Macy Molkana's podcast about Artist Alley. I've literally consumed all of the content. And then when I meet them, like in person, I like pretend that I don't know. No, I pretend that oh yeah, I think I've seen you. In reality, I've watched all of their videos like 3 times and I'm like pretending to be casual about it. But yeah, consume a lot of content, do your research. This is I mean, that's what I'm used to from like a sciences background. I did a lot of research and, like information is power or whatever. That sounds so cheesy, but it's true. Like, to be honest, a lot of these shows I wouldn't have known even existed if I didn't like go ham and like beginning of the year I make a list. I stop, I make a list of all the shows that I can think of and find online. There's like huge lists on like even Wikipedia and stuff. But you can join like Facebook groups, Discord groups, talk to your friends that you meet, other artists, whatever. Gather all the information, make a list of what you want to do, realistically what you can do, and then apply for everything. And then just see what you can get your hands on, because that's what I did. I have said previously that I want to chill a little bit next year and maybe not do so many shows. How many did I say that I did? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 conventions last year? That's actually not that many. When I think about like some of the artists I've watched videos from or podcasts and stuff, they've done like up to 50 sometimes. So this is pretty, I'm like pretty, I think it's a pretty good amount. Like I got into a pretty good number for my first year. So I'm hoping next year it's a little bit more spread out and I don't have like 4 in 1 month and then nothing happening for 3 months, ideally. But with my like work style, it's not too bad if that's what happens, because I'm pretty good at just pumping stuff out and not really being a human for like 2 months and then being a human after that. I don't know what I'm saying. There are a couple that I really want to do coming up next year. Obviously, it's the famous ones. Like, I want to do Anime Expo. I don't know if I can do it, but like I want to try it. There's like Sakura Con, and just because it's in Seattle and also Boston, I really want to go to Anime Boston, but they're also like the classic big ones. I really want to visit my friend Irene in Boston. You guys would love her. I think she's coming to visit actually in December, so maybe she loves Chikawa. But, what else? Anime Boston, Anime Expo, Sakura Con. What else do I really want to go to? Okay, I really want to go to Texas, but I don't have a show in Texas that I really want to go to. You guys have a lot over there, and like I can't decide what's good or not. Like that one's kind of hard to figure out. Also, Texas is really huge, but there's another WoW guildie that we have in Texas that we want to visit. Also, I really want to go to Whataburger. And also I want to go to San Jose. I don't have anything on my list that's in San Jose. There is SJ Made, but I also know there's a very famous flower reseller there, and I don't want to mess with their territory because I've heard things. I will not say anything beyond that. But I will say like $3 to $5 per flower is not a handmade price. Okay, no, we don't do drama here. We don't do drama here. But yeah, other than that, I think those are my dream ones for next year. Let's give it a 3-year goal. Are we setting goals now? Let's give it. I will manifest. I am manifesting getting into all of those shows in the next 3 years. Clip this. This isn't a stream. Should I stream on Twitch? Do you guys want to watch me play TFT on Plat? Okay, I'm talking too much. This video is so long. Okay, I'm signing out. Here's my child. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, thanks for watching. Sorry this was so long, but they're all long. I'm sorry. I yap. Okay, bye. Tell me what you want me to do in Japan. Bye.